Okay, looks like the stream's up. $12. I hope you don't think that I'm going to fill 12 hours. Although I did just take a nap while you were streaming, so who knows? So anyway, that is a dome that I just made a little while ago. And I'm kind of messing around with domes. I made one the other morning, which is right here. It's not quite a full dome, but I can make it into a dome by adding one piece. Actually, I just move. Okay, so this is the one I made the other morning. And it can be used a couple different ways. I can actually put a flat circular piece in there. I was going to hang a chandelier in there, which would be kind of cool. Or I could leave it open and have this be like a Viking place with a fire and the smoke goes out that hole. Or whatever. Oh yeah, there's the giant crystal I was working on. Although I think I'm going to have to make it more giant than that, because I started working on all these pieces, and they're turning out to be a lot larger in comparison than I expected them to be. Wow, I gotta stop connecting this thing to the tip, because I can't see anything whenever I grab a hold of it. I don't know if anybody was around whenever I was talking about this before, but the idea was to have basically like a giant crystal spire that was a meteorite that fell down, and there was going to be a castle at the base of it. But yeah, so that's not looking quite massive enough considering the crystal was supposed to be like mountain size. And I'm trying to figure out how to make buildings that look good on the outside and the inside. And that is a little difficult. And that dome is actually just made by repeating that one same ring, and then the very center at the top is a coin, because you can't actually make the ring small enough to fill the hole. I never actually played Conquer. I know that's terrible, but I never got to play it. I think that I probably didn't have a 64 at the time. What is happening here? So let's see, where's... I don't have one in the level yet. That is absolutely massive. Well, I could have sworn I just saved the lions, but they're not in there, so I'll have to go back out and save them again. Nee, I am not afraid of rings. There's the lions. I noticed that you made one of the mouths open and one of them closed. I didn't notice that somehow. I must have got distracted while you were doing that in the stream. I know the pictures I gave you, one of them was open. So funny. There they are. That's better. Oh, do I dare try to scale them down? That's as small as they go. It's slightly off center. I don't know if it's the pedestal or the lion. It's the lion. What? I think that looks quite nice. What do you think, Nee? Oh wait, let me not fall into this trap. Oh, how many layers of glue are there? That's actually what causes the resizing crash bug. It's when there's a whole bunch of different layers of glue. Which is, obviously it's fine whenever you're working on the thing, but whenever you finalize a design, it's better to unglue everything. That might be everything. Oh, except for Yeah, it would be pretty cool if you could just like grab a whole assembly and wipe out all glue. But knowing Spark at this point, that would actually crash your whole computer. Is this thing lower? It is lower. What has happened? How dare you be slightly lower? How dare you shoot off into nothing? Okay. Let's try that again. The perils of using controller and mouse. Well, they are perilous. Why did that just happen? Oh, snapped grid's on again. The perils of switching between snap and not snap. That's close enough. I'm not in a nitpicky mood. How did that just grab onto that? I cannot wait until they get rid of the stupid auto pan. I have a feeling that they listened to us on that. I feel like I remember them saying something about it. That will be a happy day in my book. What's up with your fro, dog? The lion's got an awfully nice perm going. What? I don't know why it keeps latching onto random stuff. Looks like that might be it. Alright. So we got 2 lions. I don't actually think I want to do this in this level. What I was going to do, okay, I've got this zombie game, which, Swarm, I'm going to show you the zombie. In fact, I'm going to show you the zombie now, because you said you wanted to see that, the brain that I kept them from walking into walls. And then we'll come back to props. What's up, Bob? Alright, so before I get started here, let me just use these. Whoops. Might have to change this a little bit. Sorry, hold on. Thinking here. I'm having this weird bug today where I'm getting stuck. This character is getting stuck. I don't understand what's doing this. Where move is no longer working. And it's only allowing me to walk forward and backwards. Which I don't know. I don't know why that would be. Because obviously I'm not limiting my move. It keeps happening whenever I change from first-person camera to follow camera. Maybe I will just get rid of this guy. Make them big so I can actually see. See, now this guy can walk just fine. So the zombie does raycasts. And there's a long one forward, which is just kind of using it as a sensor. And then whenever that one detects, 2 more raycasts come up in the forward diagonals. And those forward diagonal raycasts tell it to swivel away from whatever it's getting close to. And then the short ones coming out of its side is actually like a secondary thing, where I was having a problem where it would get close to a wall and then it would swivel just enough that it wouldn't hit the wall, but then they would get stuck walking parallel to the wall. So I put in those short ones to give it a second turn command so it would turn a little bit more abruptly and kind of get away from the wall. Yeah, the coding is actually extremely simple. It just looks complicated a little bit. And the only limit it has is, well, it can be fine-tuned, but the only limit it really has for, I guess, the width of areas it can traverse is the length of the 2 diagonals. Well, actually, I guess technically the way I have it coded, if you get stuck in between 2 walls, it'll just walk in a straight line, and then it would end up bumping a wall. Yeah, because it's right biased. It's right-hand biased. So it would always pick right first, so you might end up hitting the left wall. But all it really is, you have the 2 short raycasts with a turn. You have the 1 long raycast, which is constant, but only when this one's true. If it hits something, then the other 2 raycasts come up, which these are the forward diagonals, which are pretty easy. Forward plus right and forward plus left, and all they do is a turn. So it's a very, very easy code. And then the wandering is actually pretty easy too. It's just, I don't think there's any more of it up here. Just a couple lines right here with a bunch of randoms. I have two states. When not in pursuit, it's just regular random. And then when in pursuit, it's following the last known position of the target, which is always the character, obviously. But for this one, it's just a random length of time to be moving, plus a random pause between moves. And then it randomly picks either... Wait a minute, this is wrong. No, wait, that was right. Okay. All this is doing is randomly cycling a turn direction, which is just right or left. And then it's using that turn direction for random lengths of time with random pauses in between. And then depending on which turn direction you have, it's either turn right or left, which gives it a little bit of variation while it's wandering. I can explain raycast if you'd like. I mean, that's what I'm doing. So what is it you don't understand about raycast, I guess, is the easiest place to start. Because the syntax is literally just raycast hit, and then you go up to modifiers and you pick what you want to hit. So if you don't put anything, it means when the raycast hits anything, terrain, objects, whatever. Or you can filter out just objects or just terrain, or you can specify a particular object. So like if you want the raycast to only hit the player, you select the player. Or if you want the raycast to hit only something in an object set, you can put the object set right here. So it can be anything. Just like any other kind of sensor, you can make it register whatever it is that you want. Except raycasts can, they can hit terrain too, which the other sensors can't. So they're kind of nice for that. Then you have to put a direction for the raycast beam, or I guess it's a ray. And that could be any vector direction. And you can set it up the same way you do any other vector. You can do simple vector math. You can put in, well, other thing about raycasts. Raycasts' origin point always starts from the player position. You can change that if you'd like to with the from, but it's not necessary. Although for different things like, I know that I was helping somebody do a system for having you not run into rocks on the ground, or it was something weird, and for that they wanted to raycast from just above the ankles because all the rocks would be kind of low lying anyway, so they wanted to make sure that you weren't walking onto rocks that were low to the ground. Whereas if you had a raycast coming out of their chest where it normally is, that wouldn't work. So we just did a vector. It was something like position plus up times 0.1 or something, which gave it just a tiny little offset. But yeah, okay. So raycasts, they don't go forward infinitely. I think it's something like 256 meters or something ridiculous. So it's pretty long, but it's not infinite. Or you can set a length, which is extremely useful for different things. Like for my particular sensors, if I let them just go on forever, the thing would just never walk. But since I've got the short ones coming out of its sides, it means that literally only if it's walking right up next to a wall where those raycasts would be triggered. There's really there's nothing else to raycasts. Oh, except for raycasts have a whole bunch of hidden outputs, which you only get if you go to a child line, because they can only be on the win side. So you have did hit object, did hit terrain, hit distance, which is nice, hit position, which is extremely nice, and you can use it for a ton of other things. Hit surface normal is, as it says there, the direction of the surface of the ground. So I don't know if you saw when Claude made that bush, that if you touched the bush it exploded and a million other bushes came out, and those bushes were able to attach to the surface of the terrain in the direction of the terrain. Well, that's hit surface normal, because it is a 1 meter vector that goes from the surface of the terrain directly up in a perpendicular line. And then terrain material index is so you can tell what kind of terrain you're on and whether or not it's temporary terrain, which only works whenever you're doing create terrain, and you can make it temporary terrain. And that's it. Raycasts they're not really that difficult. They're just kind of weird looking when you first start messing with them. But Mac, if you don't understand anything else, or you want me to make a specific example, let me know, and I will do that. What do you mean inside an object? Temporary terrain is kind of cool, but it's probably not what you think because you have to put it on a timer. And for random terrain, so you have to put it on a duration. So there's no way of like setting it to a Boolean or anything like that. If you were non-collidable and you were inside another object, you should actually just be able to use bump because bump still registers even when you're non-collidable. Yeah, temporary terrain is pretty cool. You can use it for different spell effects. Like you can blow out a chunk of terrain, then have it heal itself, or you can, I know you've all seen the videos where they've got the creator brain and the guy will be walking through the air, creating terrain under his feet. Well, instead of like ruining the terrain, you can make that temporary. So you're creating terrain that disappears after a certain amount of time. I actually made a floating platform of terrain in alpha that would move around using temporary terrain, but the only problem is whenever there's a terrain edit and your character is standing there, right where the terrain edit happens, you'll fall through the ground. And there's kind of no way, there's really no way to prevent that. Or like if you're standing here, well here let me use this circle. Say for instance that this circle is where the terrain edit's going to happen and it's going to be an add terrain. Well, if you're standing right here and terrain gets added over you, you're then behind, like I guess you could just call it the skin of the terrain, and then you just fall through. So terrain edits can be kind of dangerous. Mac, in that case, you should put an object inside of it with like a detect radius. Whereas the detect radius only, let me see, I'll just use this. It's not a perfect, it's really not perfect, but you see what I'm going, you see where I'm going with this. And then if you're detected by this, which you will only be detected by this if you're inside this building and holding your button, then do it. Which should work for what you're doing. Nini, you've always had an open invitation for collaborating. In fact, I'm going to remix your, what did he call it? The Valley? The one with the river? I'm going to remix that later, and I'm going to put Frank Lloyd Wright's... Have you ever seen Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Waterhouse? Whoa! Let me not do that again. This is what I'm going to build on your river. Something similar to that. It actually has, the river kind of goes through it. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. There are better pictures of this thing. Well, anyway, you get the point. Okay, point and click game. I would have to see your code for what you're doing with the right hand or the left mouse click. But you should be able to filter it just like anything else. You could put do something like when, I'm not gonna, I don't know how you're doing it, so we'll pretend that this is what you did. Left mouse button clicked. I don't know, how would you do that? I'm not sure. I think that's it. I don't know. I don't use the mouse that much, but you should be able to do something and not. Where's the light bulb? Something like that, I think. I'm not totally sure. In that case, I should be able to combine these two lines. What do you think, Bob? Does that look legit? Whenever the delay, let me know. Oh, yeah, I'm not even looking like that. It's this is what's killing it. I'm not sure how to filter. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly. This is not actually going to work though. This is getting kind of weird. I don't know why there's so many. It maybe does have to be in another line. Maybe that does work. That might actually work. I don't know. I don't do mouse much, so I'm actually kind of the wrong person to ask, I'm afraid. You should be able to do something like and it interactable or something like that. Or what's the default? Maybe you could put in all the objects that you pick up when interacted, pick it up, instead of trying to put the pickup in the mouse line. Just do this. I think that's probably going to be the easiest route. Although you can, if you don't want to look at all this stuff, just get rid of the highlight and the display B above it. Or leave the highlight and don't have the display B. Would kind of be a little less obtrusive. But I'm thinking interact is probably the best piece. Not piece, whatever. See, this is what happens. Acrorax runs over my stream, and I'm already usually tired when I stream, and now I'm really tired, and I can't even talk. So, excuse my utter failure. And I need to drink water, hold on. Okay, so what was I doing? Zombie brain. Lions. So originally, this is why I'm even in this level. What I was doing was I was starting to create buildings because this zombie game, you're going to be trapped in a city. And you have the ability to build fortifications and stuff in this game. So the city environment's great because you got alleys and streets and stuff that you can block off with junk. And there you go. So city. So I was trying to make some buildings. And the lions were supposed to be for like the town hall or whatever. You know how they've always got the lion statues or eagle statues or something by the doorway. Well, that's what those are for. And I just felt like making D do it instead of doing it myself. So that's what happened. Bob, I will not go anywhere because I love the random generator. So I don't know what to do next. Do you guys want to see me try to build random buildings for the zombie game, which I don't know how well that's going to turn out? Would you like me to work on Nees River level and try to build that that water house that I just showed, or something similar to this on Nees Little River? Or do you have any requests and I could build whatever? Well, actually, Bob, if you're tired or anything, I know you're 2 hours earlier than me, but you could jump on real quick now. I'd be fine with that. And then I could pick up once you're done. Or we can wait until I'm done. I don't know how long I'll be. You know how I am. I drag on and on. So it might be better if you just did it right now. Yeah, but you know how I am. I might stream for 3 or 4 hours, or who knows. But you guys tell me, what do you want? What do you want to see if I do keep streaming? Which I'm going to stream. But when I stream, what would you like me to work on? And while I'm waiting for your responses, I will tinker. Oh, really? That's no good. Well, yeah, I'm going to do props either way, guys. It just, I guess, what props do you want to see me do? Because I'm either, I guess, get left to my own devices. I'm either going to mess with this for a while until I get bored, or I can work on the building for Nini's River, like I said. Oh, why? Why do you do this to me? Or actually, I got a request on Steam, not Steam, Jesus, on Twitch. Not Twitch either. Twitter. Twitter. Wow. On Twitter, a guy asked me to make a bazooka. He was extremely adamant that I make him a bazooka. In fact, he drew a picture in paint to show me exactly what he wanted his bazooka to look like. And yet he's not here, so I don't think I want to make his bazooka because he didn't show up. Acrax, that kind of defeats the purpose of the marathon. The idea is to stream what you're making for the marathon during the marathon. That's kind of the whole point. At least that's how I see it. That actually fit together pretty well, surprisingly enough. I don't know about you guys. I'm really rather pleased with this, with how the spiral came out. I had that idea when I was doing absolutely nothing at work today. And I feel like it worked well. I was a little skeptical, but it actually looks pretty decent on the outside too. Which I can't actually see. So the outside looks pretty decent too, I think. And I don't know what I want to do with this. This really reminds me of like the inside of a courthouse or something. I guess I could show you again how I do this, but I've shown it once before. I don't know if you guys care. Maybe I will show you. I'll rebuild something like this, because that's a bunch of vertical props. I don't know if you guys can tell that, but it is. I'll just use a pillar, because it doesn't really matter for a quick idea. First of all, grid snap. Second of all, surface grid. Surface grid is your best friend if you're doing any props that aren't freeform, like Nini's, her sculptures. That wouldn't really help her on her sculptures, but for most other things, especially things that you're trying to attempt symmetry, which I know that Spark is like the bane of symmetry, but you can still kind of get some symmetry. Oh, and I've got one more thing. Not that you can really remind me, but try to remind me. So, okay, I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to use these. I'm going to make the pivot point of my circle, or I guess the center point, and this is just the radius of the circle. So the center point is the cube. So go in, select the cube first, then the pillar, because as you know, that will make the cube be the center of rotation, which is the important part. And then even though I'm not going to keep the cube, I can use it right now, basically like, I don't know, like a construction crane or something. Whoops. Oh, I thought I got one too many, but I didn't. So, super easy symmetry. And then you just go back and unglue them and delete them. Which is a little tedious, but better than the alternative, in my opinion. And then always just leave your last one. Swarm, what were you talking about me making your dungeon tiles? I thought you were using the dungeon tiles I already made. Just out of curiosity. I might need to get off of Snap to Grid for this. It's gonna be a tricky one. Look at that. I'm rotating on the X, but the Y is changing. What the heck's happening there? Oh, Spark. Silly Spark. Oh boy, you're talking. Hold on, let me read chat. If you know specific stuff, I can make more pieces for you. You're welcome to use what I've got. And there you have it. That's how that works. Not the most beautiful room, but you get the point. It makes a really nice circle. And then all you have to do is unglue it. And I'm not going to do that because I don't care. But I want to make another point. Whenever you do anything architectural, it's extremely important that you can snap to grid. So that said, it's extremely important that you have a good center point, or that you have some sort of standardized way. I mean, it doesn't have to be center point. It could be everything has a point in one of the corners or something. But it makes things a lot more difficult when your pivot point or whatever, your pivot point is in some random spot. Like if it was up here on the top somewhere, that would suck because it would make everything more difficult. I always find that somewhere, I mean, if possible, the center at the bottom, just like the character, would be nice. But that's not always possible. So at least somewhere in the center. And I just left this one because the top was the last thing I built, and this was the pivot point for that, so I just left that. But it makes it a lot easier to do everything. And I kind of do that with all my pieces, so I don't have to ever actually really worry about it. Squirrel-powered boss. You know what you should do, Acrax? I have the best idea ever for you. The cleaners from Labyrinth. Do you remember the cleaners?
So the labyrinth's a piece
wow.
of cake, is it? Well, let's see how you deal with this little slice.
Sorry.
No, the cleaner!
What? You okay?
Now imagine that.
The cleaner, the bogger stench! You sure got his attention!
Now those are squirrels. You got squirrels in a squirrel cage pedaling and making that thing work. How about that? There's your boss.
This is what we need.
You will do it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Bob, this is Falling Water... Ooh. Falling Waterhouse. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright. And I'm going to build this on Nini's level, which is why I had this picture out. So yeah, there's that. I could build that. That's what I was talking about. I could go build this or something similar to this, or I can keep messing around with this. I can't think of anything else. Any more tricks that I use, really? One tip. If you're going to be making complex structures like this, and you're going to be copying and pasting, really make sure that you do your coloration before you start pasting. Every single time I build something, I forget to do that, and then I have to come back and I have to recolor 100 different pieces. And if I had just remembered to color them first, I wouldn't hate my life so much. So yeah, do that. And that's my tip of the day. I don't know what to work on. I'm kind of at a loss here. What do you guys want me to work on? For this wall? That's the bridge. This here fella. Snap to grid. Why aren't you my friend? Bridge. Which, incidentally, is how I got that sweet dome. Just actually as a side effect. Whoops. Okay, this. It's because that thing is sloped, and then they all intersect, and then I used this piece here that nice curve right there to make the top, because it actually was a little splotchy and messed up looking, which I think I can show you in here. Yeah, there you go. See how the pillars don't quite align right, and then they start to come apart? Well, that's why I installed those right there. Those nice angles. Because it actually covers them up. And that's where those stones are coming from too. That's the top piece right there. And, incidentally, that's what gave me these nice, I don't know what you'd call them, but these stones here is the stones along the back of that. So it all kind of came together. It was sort of a happy accident, really. Yes, Swarm, that's what I'm trying to say. I had such high hopes for the castle set. Such high hopes. I really thought that it would be like Alpha. We had a couple of pieces that were made of stone, and it was just flat wall sections, and railings, and arches, and different stuff like that. They were just pieces, you know, like relatively small pieces. And don't get me wrong, I really like these. They're very cool, but they're kind of limited in their usefulness. Whereas if we just got some flat wall pieces and some corner pieces and, you know, pillars and just real generic stuff, we could make an infinite amount of stuff. And that's what I thought that they were going to give us with the castle pack, but instead we got this, which frankly I can't see very many people using. It looks like a birdhouse. Which, I mean, okay, so some people are going to use it. But the majority of people, they're not going to want to be confined to this style. And if it was just generic pieces, like, okay, there's a pretty big disconnect between the style that the castle pack actually is and the style that I have made it look by just using one side of it. Like, this kind of looks like a cobbled together, I don't know, like a Conan fort or something, like a Sumerian age type fort, which is not what they intended. And if we just got generic pieces, we could make all kinds of different styles. That's really where I'm going. Like, I appreciate their work, and I really like their art style for the most part. I just think that they make things too specific, and it's very limiting. Where I know that they're trying to make things so that even kids can come in and easily just be able to throw stuff together. I know their catchphrase of, "It just works," and that's great. But I do hope over time they start giving us more generic stuff for the advanced people. And I'm done ranting. Alpha does not have a ton of stuff that we don't have, but there definitely were some things. A lot of the stuff has already come back. Like, we had... Come on. We had all of this. All this fort stuff that came with the night pack. That was all in Alpha. We had that automatically. We had some of the ice stuff. We had some hay. What did we have? All these banners and stuff. We had all these. All the metal fences and stuff that came with the haunted cornfield, we had all that. We had the corn from the cornfield. I don't know. Anyway, we sort of had a hodgepodge from different packs that are now out. And then there's some stuff that we haven't got back, so that makes me assume that they're going to put it in a pack later. And he tells me we're supposed to get back to stone walls that I like so much. But they can't tell me when, so I don't know. Evidently they're hiding. They're in a drawer somewhere and somebody forgot about them. But yeah, Swarm, like you said, thinking outside the box, that's kind of the key for all props. Like Nee, she uses stones all the time, and stones are one of my favorite things. Like, the original stone sculpture was a wolf I made for Nee. And in fact, that's funny. I asked her to make these for me. Well, originally, she asked me to make this for her. Where is it at? Whoops. So that's kind of the first stone sculpture that we made. I kind of like hers better. She's got a lot more practice than I do. Mine doesn't have a whole lot of detail. But it gets the point across. It's a wolf. It's sitting there. Indeed. It's a beautiful thing, Nee. You kind of took that idea and totally ran with it. Whereas I have the worst ADD known to man, and I have been doing such a varied amount of stuff and never really mastering anything. Alright, so I guess we're going to put the house right here. Maybe right here. I wish this went up a little further, because this is a good spot, but I don't want to put it right next to the source. Xbox One beta, as soon, or yeah, possibly as soon as next week. If not, probably the week after that. They're still in cert and they're just waiting to get out. Well, I guess before I start messing with that, let me... yeah, let me go over here away from the bird sounds. See, this is what I'm talking about. People keep talking about making really thin pieces of land, and you can't do it with a maximum size brush. But you can. Clearly you can. You just got to remember how the brush works. It will go down to the bottom of the brush. So if you don't put your brush very far into the dirt, you will get very thin land. And you can do it very fast. And if you zoom out, your brush goes way faster than if you're looking at it real close, which I don't know if I really like, but I guess I understand why they did it. Food for thought. Forget it. Let's use dirt. What? What? What are you? Why are you so dark? Alright, let's see. Put our palette together. Probably want one of those. Although I really don't want to use the castle pack. I don't have a whole lot of choice though. I do want to use that though. And I guess I probably want this. That piece right there, by the way, this is an amazing piece. I have used that in so many different things. I've used that in both of my dungeon sets. You just saw me use it to make that circular tower. Good piece right there. Good piece. And that's exactly what I'm talking about by generic pieces. I mean, you don't get more generic than a flat little piece. Although, my one complaint, and I've said this once before, I guess it's not my one complaint because I've been complaining for 40 minutes here, but I don't understand why they have all this stone stuff with wood. It's a castle pack. Why does the castle have wood everywhere? Why would a stone floor have a wood border? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I would like it if it was just stone. Or if they made two versions. One that was just stone and one that was just wood. You have wood frame with wood paneling floor. Or just stone with a stone frame. That would be great. In fact, I would find great uses for both. I would love it if that centerpiece, you could change the texture from wood to stone. Or, you know, maybe they have one that you can change it to a bunch of different textures. That would be amazing too. End rant. So I'm looking for pieces that are relatively flat, which this is not, but I might be able to find a use for that on a smaller scale. Probably going to want to do some custom ropes. Let's see. I'm probably going to want to use. Yes, I'm talking to the props, because I find that it's like a crappy old car. If you talk to them, sometimes they behave better. I'm going to steal some poor random unnamed person's idea. Wait, this might not be... This might not be the piece I'm thinking of. What happened to the colors on this thing? Those crystals used to be purple. That used to be rope colored. And then the crystals were purple. That's weird. Somebody check and see if you're in your game right now. See if yours is colored weird like this. Because that should be rope and then a purple crystal. Push block. Lovely push block. Although it is actually quite ugly, but it's quite useful. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is how that guy did this. There was a level a while back. I could have sworn it was this piece, where the guy used primitive cubes and one of these wooden things, and he made really, really convincing, like I guess maybe what, Swiss architecture, where they've got the plaster and all the wood beams and stuff. See, Bob, see, I told you you should have got on and streamed. I'm like a prophet. I knew it. I'd be happy to pop off and let you go ahead and do this. I wonder if I could actually make these things work correctly. Why did it move? What is the deal? Who are these people? Oh yeah, that's weird. So we'll ignore the one that doesn't want to work properly. Crystals on the gate are fine. What about the crystals on the curved piece? Where's the curved piece? The crystals on the curved piece are jacked too. That's weird. What about the crystals on that bench? That one bench has a crystal hanging off of it too. Ah, crystal's fine. Oh, it's blue. Are the rest of them blue? I thought they were purple. Although it's been quite a while. Quite a while since I looked at those. It's insert, yes. I guess you can go away. Scale. Oh man, come on. There we go. 96. That's what I was shooting for. Alright, so I like that. I'll keep that. And that. Alright, Bob, take it easy. I really like these two, but I don't like how not straight they are for this particular project. Sorry, just reading chat. I need to look at this house. Let's see here. So I guess I could use some stone. They made a Lego version of it. That's awesome. I need a better picture. Different angle. Really? Was that necessary? Smack! Alright. Alright. So I need to do some more prep work here. I can either make some custom extremely regular lattice out of rope, or I can use these things, which are a little bit rougher. And I'm thinking they probably don't stack that great. Oh, that's actually acceptable. You can't even hardly tell. I'll just use these. Make my job easier. Okay. Let me know if you guys get bored of this. What's pretty awesome? Miss Knee. I regret that these are not straighter than they are. No, no. I do not choose you. Come on. I can actually live with that. I think that's the right spacing. It's deceptive. I dare you, it's deceptive. Alright, let me stop distracting myself. Use my beloved grid and get this all lined up. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let me move these over here. You know what else I did? I totally forgot to do my recoloring before I started. Again, as always. really like the color of those. They're supposed to be red. So I'm gonna have to redo these. At least they're really easy. The thing that really is not good about this, I gotta stop complaining. However, for whatever reason, we're in a fantasy game, I'll just do bright. For whatever reason, some of these rivets, they are impossible to recolor. And I don't know why that is. So I guess I'll just leave the rivets light. That's fine. That's fine. Gotta use the grid because I can't tell where the heck I'm at. Oh, that's only on one side. How are there not better and bigger pictures of this? I guess I don't have to make this thing verbatim. Oh, if I can get away with this, this is going to be nice. I can't say I'm really impressed with that Z fighting I've got going on there. worse that way. It would have worked too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Yeah, I might be able to just hide it behind a seam or something. I'm just kind of seeing what my options are. I guess I'm not really going to make this thing verbatim. I don't think I've got the proper pieces to make that happen. So we're going to go with... Oh, come on. I'm going to go with the medieval Spark version of Falling Waterhouse. A la Mr. Airy. So I'm going to go back with this. Whoops. Because I actually did like that, even though it wasn't what the house actually looks like. So I need probably this. Even though I don't want the wood. There's wood sticking out of that side. Acceptable. Wow, this might be way too big for the environment. That's way too big. So would you call this sparkitecture? Where's my floor piece? Oh, you know what? I don't have this. Ah. Oh. Man. Let's see, I've got this thing spaced for 4. Oh, that actually works a little better that way. I don't need the uprights anymore, but I kind of like them still. Wow, that looks really modern. Sort of. You know what I mean? I kind of like it that they hang over like that. I have to adjust every single one of them. Ugh. The only content packs they have confirmed that they're working on is a locomotion pack, which is apparently going to be a bunch of different movement things like climbing ropes and sitting down and a bunch of other stuff like that, climbing up ledges, and some sort of nature pack, which supposedly, unless the plan changed or I misheard it, that's what the troll's going to be in. But they're almost definitely going to make a sci-fi pack at some point. They said they wanted to make a Wild West, and we have a poll on ProjectSpark.org for content packs, and a bunch of other polls actually, but the content pack one has a bunch of ideas, and they've looked at those and said they liked a lot of them, so you might see a bunch of content packs. They said they're basically going to keep keep releasing content packs basically for as long as people are interested, so I can't really imagine people not being interested. I have to adjust before last. I'm hoping they don't go full-on sci-fi. Well, not yet. What I really, 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 really want is something like Final Fantasy VI, like the Magitech, where it's like a combination of steam power and magic, and like instead of being everything is plastic and white and smooth, like Mass Effect, where everything's just smooth. If it was just like gritty and everything's kind of screwed up, it'd be nice. That's my favorite style. Oh, they are slightly misaligned. Everything on this front is slightly misaligned. How dare you? Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hungry. I have to get a snack here shortly. Snackaroo. Whatever happened to Miss Nini? Oh, what? I didn't even see her say goodbye. Well, hopefully she's not mad at me. Hopefully she's not mad at me. I was evidently duplicating her intense look of concentration. Because I didn't notice. She's gonna think I'm a jerk. I've already got enough women in my life thinking I'm a jerk. Basically every single one I ever met. I kid. Abra, are you a woman? Because if you're not a woman, you don't factor into this equation of people being mad at me. Now, if you are a woman, I guess we can recalculate, do a little refactoring. However, I don't think I like that idea. Yes, side project number 10,471. For some reason, namely Abra, I can't stand it when people stream the project that they're currently working on. So I don't usually stream my actual game projects. I'm actually just teasing. It's really not a big deal to stream what you're working on. I just have really, really bad ADD. I can't work on one thing for very long or I start getting really bored, and if I just stick with it, I'll never actually finish it. So that, and it does annoy me when you stream the same thing over and over again. But that's technically not really your fault. That actually started because I couldn't stand Bias streaming the exact same thing for weeks on end, and he would sit on the stream for 14 hours at a time, and I basically wanted to choke him out. Which, now that particular rant is saved for posterity, so I'm sure he'll see it eventually and be mad at me again. But that's okay, because it is what it is. Actually, Bias used to stream before you ever showed up. And he used to stream for like 14 hours at a time sometimes, it seemed like. Like, literally it was 10 hours or something at a time. Him working on the same exact level, running down the same exact hallway over and over and over and over and over and over again, as if somebody really wanted to see that. And then once level linking got taken out of early beta, he got all butthurt about that, so we started working on a different project, which was a car that he kept driving around in circles for days upon days upon days upon days, and it is now kind of a pet peeve of mine. And he's really not the only one. He's just the worst offender we've ever had, which is why I use his name. My ADD says no to repetition. Why does it do that? I would like it if the first time I clicked on an object, I could actually use the drag arrows. Hey, you don't need to apologize to me. I'm not anybody. I'm just voicing an opinion. What? Well, that's strange. Oh, come on. The camera hates me. Not just because I'm ugly. Why are all of these misaligned? Why does the camera keep jumping around everywhere? Alright. That's the hard part. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so this much stone. It's actually pretty acceptable. They overlap, but they don't have nearly as bad a Z fighting as that the bottom of that gate that I tried before. Abra on fire is the same as like you're on time or you're on course. It's not really the same thing at all as with fire. You're not with course, you're not, well, whatever, but you get it. You get what I'm saying, silly guy. What? Me can't click properly. Okay, there we go. So oh yeah. I can live with that. Genders are contextual in French too, aren't they? Isn't that your normal language, French? Whoops. 'Tis the wrong button. What? Why do you defy me? said that I was the prop master. You cannot defy me, prop. They said it, but I did not believe it. Oh, this is huge. Oh, that's too small. We'll go back to huge now. Looks like oh no, crash. Oh, crash. I lost nothing. Thank you, Sparks, for being my friend. I learned my lesson. I will save. Oh, man. Well, I still have to go back and look at this again. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I really don't know how I'm going to do the rest of these walls yet. Uh, Oh man, I might be getting too tired for my brain to process architecture. Because I'm having a hard time visualizing this now. Welcome back, Bob. I thought you were going to sleep. Your computer was making noise. It was like, don't ignore me. Alright, later, Toby. I'm just muddling at this point. I'm not really sure what the heck I'm doing. Let's just be so epic. I didn't really think this through. Shader update? What are you talking about? I play on high settings. Maybe that's the difference. Oh yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Ledge, so maybe he's just not used to what Spark currently is. It might be the custom lighting, because the sun is way over there. But you do also get all the beams and stuff from the... Look at that. That's nice. got to find some decent... Got to find some decent wall pieces. I guess I'm going to end up with these. Which, while not exactly what I wanted, are quite decent all the same. And surprisingly, it appeared to be exactly the right height. But are very not attractive in this particular instance. That's not gonna work. I don't like it. I need something other than stone. Fellas, I'm struggling here. I'm really struggling. Oh, if it didn't have... No, that's still ugly. Come on. Don't have any metal pieces. Why does everything have to be curvy? I am making This, sort of. But I'm struggling. I'm having some issues, so bear with me on the slowness. happy with this. I mean, there's just not a flat. I guess we could use terrain, but that would be... Oh. Oh man. Okay. Guess we're making out of terrain. This will be fun. Is it just me or does that look bad? I'm just not happy with it. I'm not getting anywhere. We don't have enough wall pieces. It's driving me nuts. Oh, God. Companion mode activate. I don't like this. Oh man, this is gonna take a while. Oh man. Yeah. I think I'm done for right now. I'm a little too sleepy for this. I need to let this marinate a bit. Reconsider what I'm doing. I'm not really making any progress. Ooh. That looks a lot nicer. I have no way of making the other directions look as nice. Spiky ball. Coming at ya. How you like that? I actually used a sphere and the little crystal, well, the big crystals, but I shrunk them down real small. And I also have this one, which is a different kind of spikes, and they're not in the same orientation, but it's still a sphere. And it's the same idea as how you make like that, for instance. In fact, it works exactly the same way as I showed you how to make the tower earlier. You just, instead of using a logic cube for the pivot point, you just use the center object. So like in this case, it's the coin. But if you're making a sphere, turn the snap to grid on. That'll make your life a lot easier. Wow, that was really? There's no in between on this damn thing? Alright, so let's see. There's 8. Well, before I do that, let me just put another one over here just in case. So there's 1. Hell with it. Let's make a bunch. That better be enough. Okay, so then all you do, you got your sphere. You got a pile of cones rather. You want a whole bunch of them, obviously. Then you glue the sphere to one of them. Grab the sphere. Rotate the sphere. Repeat the process. Glue. Rotate. Like so. Oh boy. How did I mess that up? Ah, how the heck did I do that? Oh, there we go. Nope. Dang it. Well, you get the idea. I messed it up, but you get the idea. How in the world did I get that so messed up? Yeah, it's hopeless now. It's totally screwed up. Yeah, Snap to Grid's great, but even then, a lot of the props, the pivot point on the prop is really weird, so it doesn't snap to the grid properly. Hopefully they'll go back and fix that. I probably should actually start keeping track of that, but I haven't so far. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I'm definitely going to go ahead and go to bed. And this level's called Weapon Shop, but I don't know, it may not actually be uploaded. It's not actually uploaded. Yeah. Whew. I'm getting so tired I'm like losing track of what I'm doing. So, oh yeah, the resizing thing is a super pain in the butt. Yeah, I'll be back, I guess, later today, considering it's past midnight. And maybe I'll stream later once I get a little more done on this house. So until then, see you guys later.